Hello and welcome to another video here on the Grapple YouTube channel. Going to keep it going with 3 key takeaways from AEW Dynamite this week. I didn't plan on jumping in the deep end with these so quickly. I did think maybe I'd wait for a big Dynamite or maybe in a little while. I didn't think I'd have strong thoughts, to be honest, on this week's AEW Dynamite based on some of the reviews I'd seen and some comments I'd seen, but yeah, I've got a lot to say on this one, positive and negative. So yeah, I'm going to give you my 3 big takeaways. I'll give you a few extra things at the end that I kind of caught my eye from the show overall. But yeah, if you're enjoying these videos and you want more, please, as everyone always says, give us a like on YouTube. Genuinely, it helps. A subscribe would be massive. We're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. If we hit 1,000 subscribers, you're not going to be able to stop me, but imagine Matty. You're not going to be able to stop Matty. I don't know if it's a threat, I don't know if it's a promise, but imagine the amount of videos you'd get if we do get there. So yeah, please, if you can, if you have multiple accounts even, throw us a sub on those. It would help. We do genuinely need them. But yeah, without further ado, my 3 big takeaways for this. I'll start with a positive one, because I do have some negative thoughts. It's fucking me, so, I'm going to. But, Darby Mox, I've got to start there. This I quit stipulation. Absolutely fucking rules. I love it. It's just a great stip, isn't it, for like these 2 characters. Maybe Mox should have sold more a little bit that he was set on fire at the pay-per-view, but fuck it. Who's better at escalation than these 2 characters? Who does it suit better than these 2 characters? And it makes all the sense in the world to follow the coffin match with this. And we were talking about that. Like, how can you escalate? How can you follow it? Well, one of these 2 fuckers having to say I quit. And it'll probably be Moxley. It's usually the heel in these situations, but this version of the character, you almost can't imagine doing it, and it's going to be so cathartic, presumably when he does. But yeah, great angle on Dynamite. I love Darby with the flamethrower. Don't know if the people in the front row necessarily love that there. He got fucking close to that crowd, but it was great stuff. Bit odd the Hangman's knocking around the Death Rider stuff. Is there a pack match in his future? I'm not sure. The association with the Ops is quite odd, and yeah, I do have some misgivings about the rest of the pay-per-view follow-up from this Dynamite, but I've got to say the other positive about Death Riders related stuff on the show was Statlander and being bled into it and paying off the stuff with Wheeler Yuta. Thought that was really well done at the end of the show. Full on DDP, NWO in the crowd, ripping off the t-shirt type stuff. It was brilliant. And I think that's exactly what Statlander needed. That extra focus as well as a main event. And yeah, thought that was a big thumbs up from me. What I didn't necessarily love was a lot of the rest of the pay-per-view follow-up, and I don't think I'm alone based on the few different things I've read. Let me know in the comments if you do disagree, but it was a mixed bag, even to be charitable on it. I think AEW just really struggles with bottling the enthusiasm that I think a lot of us, myself included, have coming out of these great pay-per-views. And the week 1 Dynamite is usually like this, isn't it? Where we all go, oh, all right, was that it? But to be honest, it felt like that going into the show with some of the matches announced, which I'm going to get into too. But the big thing for me was, firstly, Eddie Kingston, fresh off a comeback. Just fuck all, really. Give that man a fucking mic. It's not hard, is it? Put him in front of a live crowd. Crazy to not do that. And Mark Briscoe, like that was another one for me, like a big worry coming out of the pay-per-view. They've given him a big, serious win. And he's already back with the geeks, and it's all about, understandably, Orange Cassidy and then Hologram, strangely, but, obviously they've decided Hologram and Kyle is a match they're doing, and that's cool. I think they've built Hologram enough. He's had a lot of fucking wins, which is the story here. And Orange Cassidy is back. That's a big deal too, very important and something that should be given importance on the show. But then maybe do something with Mark Briscoe aside from that or separate from that on the shows. It wasn't all negative. I thought Kyle Fletcher was very good too. I thought his mic work to set up the hologram match was really good, and that's another positive. I think they, underlined, all the story we were talking about coming out of the pay-per-view, that he was a top guy now. He said those words, or he's, said he's what did Taz not like him saying? He wasn't ready yet, but he will be ready soon. I thought all that was good. Just again, Mark Briscoe got lost in all of that, and I don't think it was the time to do it, because I did think MJF did a good job selling his end of the loss. Maybe not necessarily the idea that he lost to Mark Briscoe, but selling the loss and making that feel important as well. So, yeah, just make Mark Briscoe's big win mean something, and just make everything out of this pay-per-view mean something. That was just a big issue for me on this week's Dynamite. And bigger than that, again, another ice-cold crowd, And sometimes I think there's good reason for that. We said it on the full review of the pay-per-view. There were moments on that show where you could probably forgive the crowd for not being invested. And honestly, I think a great example of that was Lee Moriarty this week, working Hangman Page. And I'm not going to turn into Bully Ray, but it's good they did the video package. I think that stuff is good, you know, to underline that Lee Moriarty is this ROH pure champion. He has been for 3 years or whatever, you know, the time scale is that he's been champion, but he hasn't won in those 3 years either, you know? Like, if you're not one of the 10 people watching ROH, like, I think he could be forgiven for not even know who this fucker is. Like, he hasn't won. Can anybody remember? I haven't looked it up on Cage Match, but can you actually recall seeing a Lee Moriarty match where he won on Dynamite, or he felt important, or, to be honest, even from a non-kayfabe point of view, where you really felt like he stepped up as a TV performer? Like, we're going to be rewatching the Punk match from way back when we do our show on Punk and AEW at the weekend, and I've got no memory of that, really, and I think that's a real shame, because he's a good little wrestler who has good little matches, but I don't think he's ever made a real impression. And yeah, zero reason to invest if you're the crowd there watching him. And, you know, the match was good, but didn't really matter. It was in a spot with a very little build, no crowd reaction. And that's kind of, again, part of AEW's investment problem. And also, you know, the way Tony Khan books, this is the way Tony Khan books, and it's got us here in the first place. You know, we've always got to kind of remind ourselves of that as well. So you've got to accept some of the flaws. But yeah, good wrestlers doing consequenceless wrestling is by hook or by crook kind of what we all signed up for with AEW. Some other quick takeaways from the show. I thought Takeshita and Okada still brewing. Enjoyed that. Good to see you know, them coming out to Okada's music, but Takeshita's leading the way. Rocky Romero looking a little bit uncomfortable with all of that. I mentioned it before, Orange Cassidy's return. Kind of strangely worked with the video not working. Like, it's very Orange Cassidy, isn't it? So he followed up with a tweet. So that kind of works too. Media offline, I think it said on the screen. Obviously, introducing women's tag belts. Don't know about that. I did every challenger on the show on an ROH belt. I'm pretty sure they did. Kind of tells you, again, we're in a Tony Khan promotion for good or for bad. So we'll see where that goes. And obviously, burying the lead here. Ding dong, the Cope is dead. So at least there's some fucking good news, isn't there? Get fucked. You shit cunt with your crap sing-alongs. Let's hope he's really gone. And let's hope, like, the Fed brain people who are out there who are kind of trying to fantasy book him versus John Cena on a WWE show. I'd like to hope they're right. I'm sure they're not. But, you know, let's hope he's gone for a while. Apparently he's filming something. Let's see how long we can stretch that out for. But in all seriousness, I did think the little segment with Christy and, you know, you do have a family, bro, type stuff was mostly well done. Even if I was just happy because it means Cope is off my screen. But yeah, if you have any other strong takes, let me know. Agree or disagree with anything I've said there, and I'm sure there'll be agreement and disagreement. Let me know. Me and JP will have a chat about this, obviously, and everything else that the JP has missed on a weekend spotlight we're doing this week. So look forward to that. Again, if you made it this far, give us a like, give us a subscribe. It really helps. And yeah, I will catch you on the next one. Good night, all.